Hello guys and welcome to the first lecture in section 3. In this lecture, I will introduce you to the top-down approach which I use in my trading to get a more comprehensive view of a security's price action by narrowing down from larger time frames to smaller time frames. This approach allows me to establish the key support and resistance levels in the past which provide me an edge over those who are only looking at single time frames for trade entries and exits. By using the top-down analysis in this strategy, I am anticipating that major support or resistance levels from the past will act as price points where security will either enter the sideways or consolidation phase before the price continues advancing in the direction of the previous trend or it reverses. Therefore, these levels present a perfect trading opportunity in near future once the consolidation phase ends. Later on in this course, I will also teach you how the support and resistance levels when combined with volumes and candlestick patterns present timely trade entries and exits. In the examples discussed later in this section, you will learn how support from the past becomes resistance as we move from left to right on your trading charts. Before we proceed, there are few key guidelines which I want you to understand here while labeling the support and resistance levels on any freely traded market. Draw the most obvious support and resistance levels. That is, if it is not obvious support and resistance, it is not very significant. So guys, these major support and resistance levels are clearly visible and I do not want you to stress too much while plotting these levels. Build up from larger time frames and look for opportunities on smaller time frames. Therefore, I recommend using monthly and weekly charts for establishing major support and resistance levels and then use daily and 4-hour charts for trading opportunities as we discussed in the last lecture. Use weekly charts when there is very small amount of past price data available on monthly charts. Larger the consolidation phase, the more dramatic the resulting price action will be. To explain this guideline, the law of cause and effect by Richard Wyckoff is a perfect example. A security will reflect the strength of an extended consolidation phase in the resulting price action. Therefore, it is worthwhile studying these extended sideways price movements to capture the larger move which occurs once consolidation phase ends. Plot support and resistance zones instead of using single lines. While plotting key support and resistance areas, you need to understand that price is very dynamic due to momentum and volatility factors. Due to this, retail traders often see price spike through their support and resistance lines before it returns back to the actual level. This price spiking is also associated to professional traders understanding that most retail traders will place their stop losses below or above these levels. Therefore, using the top-down analysis, as we approach daily and 4-hour time frames, we will plot zones instead of single lines using the levels we have plotted on the larger time frames such as weekly or monthly. Guys, if this is completely new to you, do not worry. Once we start going through examples starting from the next lecture, you will learn how to use this effectively in your trading. Traders, please go through these guidelines once again and I will see you in the next lecture. Hello and welcome to the first video analysis using the top-down approach. We are looking at Forex chart of EURUSD and we will put everything we have learned so far in this course into practice. As we have studied earlier, we start from monthly time frame to start plotting support and resistance level. Guys, I always label my support and resistance level starting from the top of any chart and continue labeling as I progress downwards. This is the first major level that we see here. Remember, the key is to place your line at an obvious support and resistance level and try to get as many touches as possible with this line. Look how this level acted as support and resistance on EURUSD for 4 times in the past. Similarly, I label the next significant support and resistance level here. This level was tested 5 times by euro-dollar, hence making it an important level to watch out for. Now I want you to study the next support and resistance level carefully. This is because not only it is a significant level but also because it is very close to the recent price activity on this forex pair. Once again, notice how this level has been respected multiple times in the past. The next level also includes the recent price movement as you see here. Look at the number of touches here as well. You will soon notice how I will use these major levels to draw support and resistance zones for taking trades within a sideways price movement or to look for breakout entries on daily and 4-hour time frames. This is the next support and resistance level. Don't worry if they look very close on monthly charts, as once we advance to daily and 4-hour time frames, these levels will separate by more than few hundred pips in price. As long as the support and resistance level includes obvious multiple touches, I would advise you to include them in your analysis. Here we see another multi-year support and resistance which has many touches. I think this is also a clearly visible level which I missed earlier. And finally, this is the last support and resistance level on EURUSD monthly charts. Guys, we will now switch to weekly charts. I would advise you to use weekly charts as a confirmation to your monthly levels and to see if you need to adjust any levels. Otherwise, weekly charts do not carry much significance when there is enough monthly data available. The next is to analyze the recent price action on daily and 4-hour chart. This is where I will plot support and resistance zones using these lines that we plotted on weekly and monthly time frame. There is no thumb rule to how to draw these zones, but it is advised to keep these zones as narrow as possible. So using the recent candles tails, I will plot the resistance zone first. This zone gives me a price range where I will look to sell this pair once confirmed by volume and price action, which I will teach you later in this course. In the same way, I will plot a support zone while keeping overlapping candles in focus. Guys, I use different colors to help me distinguish between support and resistance zones and for clarity in my analysis. So guys, what you have here is possible boundaries where price will move in a sideways direction. I will quickly show you the same on 4-hour chart. This is all you need to know for the time being, and it concludes the top-down support and resistance analysis on euro-dollar. Go ahead and practice these analyses on your own, and I will see you in the next video. Hello traders, and welcome to the next video where I will plot the support and resistance levels on pound dollar forex pair using the top down approach. Once again, on monthly charts I will plot the levels as I move downwards on this pair. This is the first major level where multiple touches were recorded in the past on this pair. Moving forward, this is another key level on pound dollar. There were many touches on this pair at 3 different positions. This is the third level, so I will place a solid line here too. It is a good habit to count these touches with each line to validate these levels. This is the next level with more than 7 price touches on pound dollar. Similarly, just below the last level, here we saw a couple more major support and resistance levels. Now guys, as we advance towards the recent price action, our support and resistance levels will start presenting trade opportunities. Once again, this level was tested many times by price. This is next support and resistance level, which is breached by pound dollar very recently, as you see here. Now, because there is no data available to the left of the chart for the remaining price data, I will zoom in on monthly charts to plot the support and resistance levels. I will plot the remaining 2 levels which I see here before we progress to smaller time frames. Once again, we will use weekly time frames to adjust any of the recent levels accordingly if required. Notice how the recent major support and resistance levels were respected by the price multiple times. Now I switch to daily or 4-hour charts to plot the zones using these levels from the larger time frames. Once again, to plot the zones, I will use the recent price action around this level to plot a sideways movement support and resistance as I show you here. Guys, as you can see here, I opened a long position based on my analysis as the trend continuation was confirmed by volumes and price action on pound dollar. And this trade is running at more than 100 pips as I speak. This also concludes the top-down analysis on pound dollar, and I will see you in the next video where I will analyze silver. Hello and welcome guys to the next video where we're looking at a monthly chart of silver against US dollar. Starting from the top, I will label all the key support and resistance levels. This is the first level with more than 5 price touches on monthly chart of silver. This is the second level, which is also acting as a major support on recent price action. And it also has multiple price touches in the past. Moving on, this is the third key technical level of support and resistance with more than 6 touches over the last 10 years of price data. And this is the next level around the present price activity, which is very obvious on this price chart. Similarly, I will label the rest of these levels and also count the number of price overlaps with each level. Finally, this is the last level that I will plot on this chart before we advance to smaller time frames to look for trading opportunities. On daily charts and 4-hour, guys, I want you to pay attention now. There are possible 2 support and 2 resistance zones each. This support and resistance zone is to take advantage of the larger sideways movement on daily charts, whereas on 4-hour another smaller sideways price activity can be observed using the in-between levels of support and resistance. It is based on this level on 4-hour chart that I will be looking to trigger a sell entry once my analysis signal a trend reversal. This is also a perfect example of how I use different time frames within one instrument as a part of my support and resistance trading strategy portfolio. It is only because of the major levels which I plotted on the monthly charts that I can position myself for timely entries on both 4-hour and daily chart. Guys, this also concludes the top-down analysis on silver, and I will see you in the next video. Hello traders, in this video I will be performing the support and resistance analysis on gold price chart. Starting from the price high, I will label each support and resistance level as I move downward. The first level, which has 2 major price touches, is also a part of recent price movement, hence making it a very significant level to watch out for. One by one, I will plot all the support and resistance levels on price chart of gold. Please pay attention to each level and then practice it on your trading platforms too. Once you practice what you are learning, you will be able to spot these levels in no time. Guys, the key is to look for 2 things: the most obvious level and to include maximum touches of price. And finally, this is the last key level from the past, and now we switch to smaller time frames. I will use the common price range from candles in the recent past to plot this resistance zone first. Guys, I will do the same now for the support zone. My intention, as I explained before in this course, is to establish a price range where I'm anticipating a bearish or bullish entry when plotting these zones. It is very important that every support and resistance zone you draw must be validated by multiple candles within that zone. Let's quickly jump to have a quick glance of this sideways price movement on 4-hour charts as well. Look how it looks even better on 4-hour chart. This also concludes this video on gold, and I will see you in the final top-down analysis video in section 3. Hello guys, and welcome to the final video in this lecture where I will perform the top-down analysis on crude oil chart. This strategy works with the same efficiency whether you trade in forex, commodities, metals or stock. Once again, I will plot major support and resistance levels on crude oil monthly chart. The criteria remains the same as in all other video analysis we discussed earlier in this section. Once you have accomplished learning the concepts we have studied so far in this course, you have learned the key foundations of this strategy. Even though what you have learned can be easily applied to any market, I strongly advise you to please focus on the guidelines I taught you while labeling these key support and resistance levels. The strength of top-down analysis in support and resistance trading is such that this approach tells you whether a trading opportunity is available in the near future or not. And thus you will be able to wait for the right setup to occur at the support and resistance zone that you have plotted on the daily and 4-hour time frames. Now coming back to this video, let us switch to lower time frames now once we have all the key support and resistance levels on monthly charts. Here on daily charts, I will zoom out to capture large data so that I can plot a resistance zone on crude oil. Next, I will plot the support zone in the same way that I've been teaching you in this section. And finally, you can see that price is very near to key resistance and possible sideways movement in direction of support zone could occur here. Traders, I'm confident that what you've studied in this section is enough to understand how to draw support and resistance levels and zones on any freely traded market. This also concludes section 3 of the course, and I will see you in the next video.